Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to do a video, a little bit of a different video. This is gonna be, I know I like to do a lot of tutorials and a lot of things where I'm teaching you guys things, but I feel like this is a really important video to do because for me it's something that has affected my life, but I feel like if I can only get the information out there to help people, I think that a lot of people will benefit from this. So it's not a tutorial, but it definitely is meaningful information. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my lip filler journey. You guys know I've had lip fillers. I've been very open about them since the first time I got them. The first time I ever got lip fillers was in 2009, and it really wasn't super popular then. Like a lot of people were not getting lip fillers, but it was like something people were starting to do. And I feel like that because everybody was starting to talk about it, because people were starting to do it, it was like a little interesting. It was like, I was like curious about it. My curiosity was definitely there, and I was wondering if I would look more attractive if I got lip fillers. So I felt like a little bit like insecure about that, and I wanted to just fill them. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I didn't look up anything. I basically heard there was a doctor in Dubai, because I just moved to Dubai, and where I was living in the States, it wasn't really like a big city. So, Dubai was a much bigger city, and I thought, let me do it here. And there was a doctor, a dermatologist who was doing them. I literally don't even know. I didn't ask him anything. And he had come to Dubai from Lebanon, and he was like, oh, I could totally fill your lips. And I was like, okay, let's just do it now. He did 4 injections, literally. He did one here, one here, one here, and one here. And he put something in my lips that was like so big. It was just, I basically had like 4 bulges right here. My lips were bigger, but I basically had like no shape to them, and they were really asymmetrical. They looked really bad. I noticed kissing felt different. My husband, I was like, oh my God, I think it's better. And he was like, I don't know if it's better. I'm not sure. But for me, I thought it was better, but I'm not sure that it was actually better. Some other things too, I noticed I didn't have as much control over my lips. Like I couldn't whistle anymore. Like I would try to whistle and be like, and I was such a good whistler before, so it really bothered me. But there was just too much filler inside my lips, so I couldn't press them together that well. In the years to follow, I started to realize that, like, wait a second, like I had the worst job. That doctor did a really bad job. I need to redo my lip filler. And so I went to another doctor, like maybe like 6 months later, and I was like, my lips had gone down a little bit, and I was like, I need your help. I just want to fix them. And she was so lovely, and she just basically like put little shape and added a little bit of filler, and then my lips kind of started to look a little bit better. They started to look a little bit more symmetric, but the filler kept like going very fast. And I actually think that for my personal experience, lip fillers actually ruined my lips. Starting from the first appointment, even to like, any continued appointments I had afterwards. And I've had everyone do my lips from Orion, who was actually really good in LA, to Dr. Diamond. I've had so many different people do my lips, and they're all great. And I think lip filler is not bad, but for my personal experience, I don't feel like I got the benefit that I was actually looking for. I wanted my lips to look bigger, but I don't know if I was looking for that plumpness. I think I was just looking for like more width, more height actually. And so, I think a lot of times when people want to fill their lips, they actually just think, oh my God, I need my lips to be bigger. Let me just go ahead and, put filler in them. Or I want to be more attractive. I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking about fillers. Let me just do my lips. It's legitimately the first thing I always hear people talk about. I personally don't know anybody who's had lip filler and kept it in their lips that it continues to look good over time. It may look good when they first put it in, but I feel like it starts to move. I notice even my fillers start to go like up here, and since I've been filling my lips for like the last 10 years, like off and on, like, I would say once a year probably for like the last 10 years, it just really started to look really bad. And I was constantly trying to fix it, trying to make it look better. But then I was talking to this one doctor in New York who's amazing, and she basically told me like, you need to remove all your lip filler. And I was like, what? Like, that's crazy. I would never even think of that. And she said, well, yeah, because your lip filler is actually making you look old and plastic and fake. And, I'd seen some people tell me that my lips look maybe a little fake, but I didn't really, like, I was like, whatever, it looks fake, but whatever. And then so when I finally decided to dissolve them, it was so painful. Let me tell you guys, I gave birth without epidural. I was super calm. I can take pain. Everybody who pricks me with a needle or, does anything where it involves pain tells me I have like the most ridiculous pain tolerance. And let me tell you, it was painful. I do think that we maybe over dissolved because everything is out, and we went through it all, like we just did it. I actually had like pain in my nose for like a week. It was so intense, but it was worth it. And just felt like, wow, I actually look more natural and so much better. I have removed everything on the bottom lip, but I've removed everything on the top lip. The good thing is that as soon as I removed my lip filler, I could whistle whistle again. So I was like really, really good at whistling, which, it was just weird. I almost had like more control over my lips, which I hadn't had in so long. My overall experience with lip fillers is that they are not necessarily the best thing to make your lips bigger. What actually happens is sometimes, depending on the formulations, there's different kinds of ingredients. There's hyaluronic acids, there's also collagens, there's a lot of different bases for different fillers they use. Restylane and Juvéderm are the most popular. Depending on Juvéderm or Restylane or collagen, whatever you add in your lips, sometimes they tend to move depending on the molecule. And even if a dermatologist or doctor tells you they don't, I've seen them move every single time. And so what happens is they start to go, like, I've even seen it, in some people I know very closely, where like it starts to move into the upper lip and then their whole upper lip looks really big. And it's not a good look. I think when people when they're trying fillers for the first time or they want bigger lips, they immediately go towards filler, and that sometimes is not a good solution at all. I've noticed since I've started lining my lips, I'm so happy with it. They're not as plump, but they look big. So, I've been posting pictures and I'm not getting those comments anymore about people saying I look plastic literally just from dissolving my lips. And it's so funny because sometimes just when you do your lips, all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, you look so fake, you've done everything. And it's like, what? No, I just put fillers in my lips and now people are assuming so much more. So I definitely think that, lip filler can actually be a really bad thing, especially if you go to not a great doctor. And I think most people they have their own preference on lips and they don't always, they don't think about the way it looks in photos. The reality is bigger lips do sometimes make you look more feminine and softer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you fill your lips, you're going to have that appearance. Actually, it can be the opposite. It can make you look harsher and faker and older. So it's not necessarily the right way to get bigger lips. I think just like thinking about it in retrospect, I don't think will I fill my lips again? I definitely will not go about it the same way that I did before. I think I know so much more now. But I think it is really important to remember that, when you want to do something, when you maybe feel like you need a touch, you probably don't need lip filler. You probably just need a little lip liner or something else. So I think it's really important to mess around with makeup before, you mess around with needles, because reversing that can sometimes be really challenging. So what they use to dissolve filler is actually called hyaluronidase, which basically it's like an enzyme that melts the hyaluronic acid. Now, if you put collagen in your lips, which can be really, if you ever see people with like really plump lips and they feel like they can't move, collagen fillers or collagen-based fillers can be very thick, and those are very hard to remove, and they can be even dangerous to remove. They can cause scarring when people try to remove them. It's just not a good look. So you want to be really careful when you do fillers. Different fillers all last different timings, and each person also, their bodies react to fillers differently. So some people have, very high metabolisms, their circulation is really intense, maybe they touch their face a lot, so that will tend to drain the lymphatic areas in your face, and your fillers will move more and then start to dissolve more. So, most fillers last anywhere from 6 to 18 months. If they're hyaluronic based, if they're collagen based, they can last for years, and that can be really bad if they're done badly. But if you use a hyaluronic based filler, you just want to be really careful. And from my experience, my ultimate experience with filler is less is more. And basically, in all hyaluronic acid based fillers, no matter what doctors tell you, I promise you they move. I've seen it. I've seen it with celebrities who started out really beautiful and they started doing filler, and then they started to look slightly strange over the years. The fillers are moving. I wish, like in retrospect, somebody would have told me that, or I would have researched more. But even when you see things on the internet, you just don't know what to believe or who to go to. And so this is my personal experience with fillers. If you are going to go to see a doctor, make sure you go to a really good doctor and do as minimal work as possible. And I swear to you, you probably don't need lip filler, even though you think you do. So I do have a lip liner done, like really, really big, overline my lips, and I've obviously contoured a little bit. But I want to show you guys really quickly, removing my lip liners, they are significantly smaller. Like you can see, that was immediate. My lips are so much smaller. I'm just gonna put a little powder so you guys can see the top of it. So you can see my lips are so much smaller than they used to be. The top lip, we've dissolved all of the filler. I have a tiny bit in the bottom. I don't really feel like I need to dissolve the bottom because that's not where the problem was. It was really here. So you can see my lips look so different, and yes, I'm super happy I removed my fillers even though they look like this. But honestly speaking, lip fillers are really addictive. So like even now I have to remove them, and I know I look better, I have the urge to like fill them in even more. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think about my lips being, before and after. I am gonna quickly just show you guys how I line them now to make them look bigger, and I'm even gonna make them look even a little bit bigger than we had them in the beginning. So I'm just gonna go quickly. I'm gonna take Trendsetter lip liner. That's actually what I use, and I like to use something really dark. And I'm just gonna quickly, I go way above my lips, so you can see I'm not even starting on the lip. I'm starting right here. I'm basically making myself a mustache. And I'm going here, and then I'm connecting it. And for the bottom, I'm not necessarily going super big because again, I have lip filler there. And I'm just lining it. And I like a really dark color on top. I just really love it, like being super intense on top. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish the shape. So I'm gonna close my mouth. And now my top lip is even bigger than my bottom lip. And this does not have filler. It has a little bit. I have a line in the middle too because I feel like it makes it look bigger. I'm kind of putting a triangular line. So I like to go wide here and make it look a little triangular. A little here. This gives you the Angelina Jolie lips. She's like the perfect lips. I feel like on the top, except these lines, I basically have not drawn on my lips at all. I basically have drawn completely off my lips. I'm just going to use our liquid matte in Venus, and I'm just going to put it on top of everything. And I love that Trendsetter Venus mix. And my lips look so much bigger. I'm just going to apply a small amount of powder here in the corners. Not a concealer, just a powder. And I really like to make this line on top a little bit more dark, just to make it look like a real contour. And then I'm just putting a little more here. I'm gonna grab a little shimmer gloss. This is just Ritzy. I love it. I use all Huda Beauty products, but you can use like legit whatever you want. I'm just putting a little shimmer there, and I'm gonna grab my ring finger. I just colored my mom's hair yesterday, so that's why my fingers are weird colors. And I'm just gonna go ahead and spread that here, spreading it all over. And that's it. So this is essentially how my lips look now. I feel like they look so much better. They look a lot more natural, and I'm just happier with them. So I definitely think that I am done with lip fillers. I don't know, I think so. Again, they're addictive and they're dangerous. And I really wanted to do this video because I got so many questions about my experience with fillers. So hopefully for anybody out there who was wondering, I really hope this helps everyone. And even if you weren't wondering, hopefully this information does help either you or a friend or a family member, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys!